Joining me now is Mr. Jairam Ramesh, Rajya Sabha member, Congress. He's also the General Secretary in charge, Communication for the Congress Party. Appreciate you taking the time out, sir, joining us. Congratulations on your Foundation Day. When we talk about the Bharat Jodo Yatra, my first question would be, correct me if I'm wrong, 108 days. You're on a break right now. But any which way closer to achieving with what you started out with, what you wanted to achieve?
The fundamental purpose of the Yatra is to rediscover the ideological battleground, because we are now today confronted with two competing ideologies, the ideology of the RSS BJP and the ideology of the Congress, an ideology of uniformity versus the ideology of unity, an ideology of uniformity versus the ideology of diversity. So what we are trying to do in the Bharat Jodo Yatra is to really engage in this ideological war, in this ideological contest, which we had ceded because we had become a giant electoral machine. And I think that's really the purpose of the Bharat Jodo Yatra. We have to be in the battle of ideas. We have to be in the battlefield of ideologies. And I think Mr. Rahul Gandhi saw this as an opportunity to once again sharpen the ideological focus of the Congress party, which is 137 years old today.
But Mr. Ramesh, you would admit you're no longer that giant electoral machine that you once were. You're nowhere close to that, and I'm glad that somewhere down the line you do admit that one of the consequences of the Bharat Jodo Yatra would be to electorally rejuvenate your own party, which you were failing to do, because ultimately, you're not an NGO, you are a political outfit, it's your business to win elections.
Electorally, yes, the Congress is at its lowest point, if you judge it in terms of its strength in parliament or the number of states it governs. So in a way, yes, I mean, the background to this was a sense of deep shock and disappointment to a party that has been used to being the party of governance, both in the center and in the state. And personally, I feel this yatra should have taken place much earlier. We are doing it when we are at a very low point, at a low ebb. Had we done it a decade ago, perhaps we may not have been at this point that we find ourselves today.
Mr. Ramesh, you say somewhere that you're not a band of sannyasis walking there, you're not an NGO yet. Many of you, including you, I was running through your timeline today, would market this Bharat Jodo Yatra under the guidance of a tapasvi. Now, is that the new image makeover that you're looking at?
I think Mr. Rahul Gandhi was asked this question on the 22nd of August. By civil society organizations, why are you doing this yatra? And he ruminated over this, and he said, there is bhakti tradition and there is a tapasya tradition, and I am doing this yatra in the tapasya tradition. And so he meant it in a very philosophical way. And I think for him, it has become really a test of endurance, a test of tenacity. And of course, we are seeing the real Mr. Rahul Gandhi emerge. After 10 years of being battled and bruised and caricatured.
But Mr. Ramesh, for somebody who handles communication, for somebody who handles communication, you and your band of congressmen who become very aggressive on social media, I might add, are going to town with the tapasvi word. And that is, that's what it's come down to. It's a tapasvi walking, leave alone the t-shirt bit. But
I thought that was a brilliant formulation from him when he said that I'm doing it as a tapasvi. And I think what he meant was that he wants to understand the trials, the tribulations. He wants to understand the pains of farmers, of Dalits, of Adivasis, of women, of youth, of different sections of society, feel their pain, talk to them, laugh with them, cry with them, agonize with them. And that's what the spirit of being a tapasvi is all about.
Is he happy that the Congress is marketing the Bharat Jodo Yatra of him being a tapasvi?
Sorry, I don't...
Is he happy with the fact, or is he down with the fact that, the entire communications wing of the Congress is branding this yatra as the one guided by a tapasvi?
No, obviously he's the public face of the Bharat Jodo Yatra, but it's not a one-man yatra. It's natural that the public face, it's natural that the media attention is focused on him, but there are 135 Bharat Yatris today drawn from different parts of the country, 1/3 of whom are women. And the average age of these Bharat Yatris is 38. A very young band brigade who's all walking along Rahul Gandhi. So yes, Mr. Rahul Gandhi is naturally the public face, naturally the leader of this brigade, but there are many others in this Bharat Jodo Yatra who have walked all the way from Kanyakumari and are now taking this 9-day break before we resume in Ghaziabad on the third morning.
You know, I'm going to talk about you resuming on the third morning in Uttar Pradesh. I'm also going to ask you a few questions about why is it that most of the opposition that you've extended invitations to have not come on board.
All I can say is let's wait and see. You know, it's too early. It's also the early part of the new year. People have competing schedules. People have pre-arranged programs. And so let's wait and see who comes, who doesn't come.
But Mr. Ramesh, you know, I'll tell you what. So what we did this morning was we spoke to the RLD, despite Mr. Rahul Gandhi going to the Charan Singh Samadhi in Delhi. We spoke to Mr. Jayant Chaudhary. We've spoken to Akhilesh Yadav's team. None of them are coming. Mayawati is not coming. The TMC...
Let me correct you on this. Mr. Gandhi didn't go to the Charan Singh Samadhi in order for Jayant Chaudhary to come to the Bharat Jodo Yatra.
Fair enough.
He went to the Charan Singh Samadhi because Charan Singh was a congressman. He left the Congress party, he became the Prime Minister with the support of the Congress party, and he's a great leader of Indian agriculture, Indian farmers. And he made great contributions to the abolition of zamindari, for example, in the late 40s and early 50s. So Mr. Charan Singh's visit to the Charan Singh Samadhi had nothing.
Fair enough.
By that token, you will say
I didn't want to insinuate anything. I was just
by that token, you will say he visited Mr. Vajpayee's Samadhi in order to entice Mr. Gadkari.
I'm going to get down to. I'm going to ask you a bit about the Vajpayee Samadhi as well, because a lot came out of that. But I want to ask you that question first. So no, RLD is not joining in. Jayant Chaudhary is not joining. Akhilesh Yadav is not going to join in. Mayawati is not going to come in. Then even the TMC has refused. The likes that are coming in and joining you openly are like the likes of Miss Mufti.
People who want to come will come. You know, people who have other engagements won't come. They will send their good wishes and support. We are not trying to build a platform for 2024. I mean, this is not you know, we're not doing this in order to bring political parties. Bringing political parties on a common platform requires great homework, requires far more preparation, requires more backroom discussion before we finally arrive at a common agenda. And 2024 is still far away.
But I'm not talking about
parties have come, some political parties haven't come. So I wouldn't read too much politics into either the presence of somebody or the absence of somebody.
All right. So this is not a platform for opposition unity is what you say. But having said that, you've raised concerns, you yourself, of the IB intimidating, you know, not those from politics, but other walks of life, intellectuals, you know, academics, industrialists.
In Haryana, the IB, in Haryana, you know, IB interrogated some activists, some agricultural leaders, some ex-servicemen, some local intelligence, Haryana intelligence operatives infiltrated 2 containers in the guise of using the toilets in those containers as if they were the only toilets available in an otherwise overcrowded container campsite. So all these games are being played. There was a shocking security lapse by the Delhi police on the 24th of this month, when Mr. Gandhi walked in Delhi, and there were surging crowds. So we have written to the Home Minister, now that we are going to Punjab, and now that we are going to Jammu and Kashmir, that greater care should be taken. And, you know, such harassment should not take place. I mean, from day one, there has been harassment either by the state government or by the BJP as a party, particularly in BJP-ruled states, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, and then finally Haryana. And they've tried every trick in the game, including COVID, to defame and derail the Bharat Jodo Yatra. But we have neither been defamed nor been derailed.
Mr. Ramesh, is there an attempt, like you say, that the IB is trying to intimidate those, you know, certain industrialists, academics for not joining the Yatra?
Well, we have a very non-cooperative state government in Uttar Pradesh particularly. We have a non-cooperative police administration in UP. We are going to be spending 3 days in UP, 3rd, 4th and 5th. And we are hoping that, you know, it would pass along smoothly. But, you know, we have to take every precaution. And I think we have alerted the Home Minister to the fact that this is a peaceful yatra. There's been no violence in this yatra, unlike the Rath Yatra of Mr. Advani. 31 years ago, 32 years ago. This is a yatra for peace, for harmony, for brotherhood, for amity, for sadbhavna. And so let it be that way. Let all these cheap political tricks, dirty tricks, harassment, be left to other forums and not to the Bharat Jodo Yatra.
Talking about political stunts, do you agree your own colleague Salman Khurshid calling Rahul Gandhi the epitome of Lord Ram? Did you see that played into the BJP narrative somewhere?
I'm not going to comment on any comment that is taken out of context. Okay, there was a certain context in which Salman Khurshid, made those remarks, and I'm not here to either explain him or to amplify what he says. He said what he said, but the fact is that there is a Bharat Jodo Yatra. There is a personality who symbolizes the spirit of the Bharat Jodo Yatra. He's demonstrated tremendous endurance, extraordinary tenacity, a single-mindedness of purpose, and he has proved all the prophets of doom and gloom wrong. And he's, for 108 days, he's stuck with a single-minded sense of purpose. And as I said, and when I was asked repeatedly, is this a new Rahul Gandhi? I said, no, this is the real Rahul Gandhi. Because for the last 8 years, with the help of the social media and with the help of friendly elements in the mainstream media, the BJP had caricatured him and lampooned him to a ridiculous degree. So finally, freed from all those shackles, the country is seeing the real Mr. Rahul Gandhi.
Well, Mr. Ramesh, the fact is Mr. Rahul Gandhi, including you, including the Congress, has been highly contemptuous of what you call the mainstream media. I'm sure a part of us have earned it, but having said that, very difficult to get an interview with Rahul Gandhi. We put in a request about a month and a half ago. Are we ever getting close to that or not?
Mr. Rahul Gandhi, for your information, in case you have not followed it, has had addressed 8 press conferences in the last 108 days. These press conferences have been freewheeling, no teleprompter, no script for questions, no script for answers. He's about to have his 9th press conference in Kurukshetra. He'll have 1 press conference in Punjab.
So no chance of an interview.
Press conference in Jammu and Kashmir, which is more than what you can say for the Prime Minister, who's not had a single press interaction in a give and take basis in the 20 years he's been in public
life. Mr. Ramesh, we've been tracking the Yatra for a while.
There are many who want one-on-one.
Sure.
There are many who want a one-on-one. He's already given a number of one-on-ones to YouTubers.
Well, we're hoping to be next. We're hoping to be next in line.
Who do more justice to him? Who do more justice to him than anchors and channels?
So, now you're being very contemptuous for no reason, Mr. Ramesh. So that's a little.
I'm telling you the reality. See, I'm not media bashing. I am just telling you the reality. I'm just telling you the reality. At least by giving interviews to the YouTubers, he is having a very honest interaction, and what he says is not getting distorted or not getting deformed in the process of communication.
Okay, well, one thing we can vouch for, at least on our network, nothing.
I'll give you an example today of how the media has distorted what he said. He said something in the context of his T-shirt, and that was distorted by the BJP troll machine and amplified and magnified by many television channels as referring to the Bharat Jodo Yatra.
All right, okay, we're not one of them. I just want to say we're not one of them.
I am not a media basher.
Okay.
I am not a media basher.
Well, all I'm saying is we are not one of them. We are still hoping to get that interview.
But the mirror to the media.
All right, okay, we are still hoping to get that interview. I'll come back to the last, 2 final questions. Mr. Ramesh, we talked about him going to the Atal Samadhi in Delhi, and a lot came out of that. Is there an attempt somewhere down the line of the Congress now to build parallels of what may be the narrative that the Bharatiya Janata Party built of a Patel versus Nehru to an Atal Bihari Vajpayee versus Narendra Modi? Because if that's the case, it's a red herring, because it's not that Atal Bihari Vajpayee was a moderate face.
No, I mean, Atal Bihari Vajpayee's memorial happened to be in Delhi, close to Rajghat. He happened to be a former Prime Minister. He also happened to be a Prime Minister who reminded the Chief Minister of Gujarat of his Raj Dharma in 2002, which the Chief Minister willfully ignored and disobeyed. And Mr. Vajpayee did not believe in the politics of vendetta. He did not believe in the politics of harassment. He was a large-hearted Prime Minister. He was not a Congress Prime Minister, but he had tremendous regard for Jawaharlal Nehru, as I've said. He wrote to Mr. Nehru at the height of the Chinese invasion, asked for Parliament to be convened earlier. Mr. Nehru agreed, and now Chinese incursions are taking place, and Parliament is not allowed to debate the border situation. He had a very good relationship with Indira Gandhi, and he gave an interview, a television interview, 30 years ago, or some years ago, not exactly 30 years ago, maybe over 25 years ago, where he said that he owed his life to the magnanimity and generosity of Rajiv Gandhi, who sent him off to London, to New York as part of a UN delegation so that he could have medical treatment. This is what politics is all about.
Okay.
And I think Mr. Gandhi, in keeping with the spirit of the Bharat Jodo Yatra, was paying tribute to a large-hearted Prime Minister who, although a political opponent and a political adversary, believed in the politics of decency.
All right. Now, talking about the politics of decency, talking about an ideological renaissance for the Congress, I want to just ask you two final questions, and one of them has to do with, do you see the sidelining of Mr. Shashi Tharoor, your own colleague in the party, after he contested for the president? Because one could say there are multiple examples to suggest this.
It's got nothing to do with the Bharat Jodo Yatra, but since you've asked me, I will answer you that question.
All right.
There is absolutely no sidelining of Mr. Tharoor. Mr. Tharoor continues to be an active member of parliament, although temporarily in a wheelchair. He continues to be the chairman of a standing committee, a very important standing committee on chemicals and fertilizers. He continues to be an active leader in Kerala, nationally, internationally. So I don't see where you get this idea of being sidelined.
Multiple examples, Mr. Ramesh, but yes, we did ask you that we'll only speak about Bharat Jodo Yatra, so we limit ourselves to that question.
I'm giving you the answer. On what evidence are you asking me this question that he's being sidelined? He's not being sidelined.
Okay, may I give you the examples then? He wasn't a part of the star campaigners in Gujarat. He's never accompanied Rahul Gandhi while he's been walking in the Bharat Jodo Yatra. Be it the...
He's welcome to join any time. It's all entirely up to him. He joined in his constituency. He had other engagements, I presume. He has not. Nobody has stopped anybody from joining.
The Youth Congress had to pull out of a function which they had invited him for.
Sorry?
The Youth Congress members, many of Mr. Tharoor's team would tell us, that the Youth Congress members had to pull out of a function which they had invited him for.
I'm talking about, you are asking me why he is not on the Bharat Jodo Yatra.
Fair
so
enough.
Let me challenge that question. Anybody is welcome to come and join. Nobody gets invited to the Bharat Jodo Yatra if you're a member of parliament. If you're a Congress member of parliament, you automatically come. You come and join, you come and walk. Of course, if you're a non-congressman, you try to find out, suitable times. You find out how to coordinate, the walking along with Mr. Rahul Gandhi. But if you are a Congress member of Parliament or a Congress MLA, I've heard of not a single instance who has not walked with Mr. Rahul Gandhi. So it's completely wrong to say...
But the rest of the questions on Mr. Tharoor are for another conversation. But last question, Mr. Ramesh, before we let you go, is there going to be a second Bharat Jodo which possibly will cut through from Gujarat to the northeast? Is that on the cards at all?
Well, immediately following the Bharat Jodo, we have the Heart to Heart Jodo Abhiyan, which starts on the 26th of January. It will go up to the 26th of March. It's a 2-month campaign at the block level, at the district level and the state level. It will have a couple of yatras, Mahila yatras focused on the women particularly. And the Heart to Heart Jodo campaign will take the message of the Bharat Jodo Yatra to more and more sections of the population, particularly at the booth and block level. So our hands are full for the next 2 months. After that, if there is consensus on a, say, Porbandar to Parashram Kund Yatra, a west to east Yatra, I'm sure we'll do it. But there's been no discussion on that as yet, I'm afraid. Right now, the focus is on to complete the Bharat Jodo Yatra before the 30th of January by unfurling the national flag in Srinagar, and then launch the Heart Se Heart Jodo Abhiyan from the 26th of January till the 26th of March.
All right. Mr. Ramesh, for somebody who's walking with Rahul Gandhi, I will ask you, and don't give me the tapasvi answer, how is it that he's wearing a t-shirt in like 5 degrees Celsius? You must have asked him.
Dealing with the Indian media and dealing with the BJP...
And you're telling us you're not contemptuous of the Indian media.
Thick skin. Thick skin is the answer.
Thick skin. All right, okay. We leave it at that. I appreciate you taking the time out for joining us, and I do hope ultimately, that once your yatra concludes, the true test would be electoral success, I would reckon, and you'd join us on the same. But thank you, and good luck.